So guys, today I want to test a little bit more of the AGM-179. First of all, I wanted to actually try it out something that wasn't possible before. I showed you guys this on the Dev Updated video, right? Showing how the IR version, the TV one, is actually doing something that it's different, that it wasn't doing in the first day of the dev server. And then I'm gonna show the SAL, right? The semi-active laser one, and why that one might actually be worth to actually get to take some right together. Some people are complaining that, of course, you cannot take in the outer pylons the AGM-179. I kind of agree, especially with the semi-active laser. Not with the IR maybe, because that would be kind of OP, but maybe with the semi-active laser, why not just add it for there, right? I know, I mean, not a lot of people can use this amount of missiles, but to be honest, with the very good AA systems that the Russians have, I don't think it would be too much of a problem, okay? So let's test the first thing that I told you guys about. The IR one is very, very much different from the first day of the dev server. I already showed this in the other video, but I'm just gonna quickly show to you guys again. The first thing is that above 11.5 kilometers, for some reason, you couldn't get a proper lock. Even if it was on the ground, okay? You basically could not get a lock, you know, with the IR. I know, sometimes it is kind of weird, but you just couldn't get a lock, and it was a 16-kilometer range missile. Now, they actually, I think it's fixed with this. So we're gonna go to the max range of the missile here, kind of like 16 kilometers. And we're gonna try to see, or to show to you guys, because I know it can do that. It can do it more than the 11.5, right? But at the same time, it has a little bit of a problem there. So, yeah. So we are already pretty good in range over here. We're gonna just turn. And just for the sake of it, we're gonna turn on the hover a little bit. So there you go. And yeah, we have here the targets, and you will see that with the IR one, so this is the IR one, you can now, beyond the 11.5 kilometers, get a lock. Look at this. If the target is large enough, you can actually properly get a lock. You know, so as you can see, for example, here, it is actually having the little cross there, and you can actually fire the missile onto the target. It was something that wasn't really impossible to do before. We tested even with the Panzer, which is a much larger target than these tanks are, right? And he wasn't able to do beyond 11.5, right? For some reason. And now you are able to actually properly lock it up from further away. But what if the target is too little? Well, we're gonna show that. Let me just show to you guys the missiles hitting here. But maybe the target is too small for you to actually get a proper lock, right? But let's just wait. Let's see if it actually tracks properly. Maybe it will overshoot. Let's see. I think it will overshoot. Yes, it will overshoot. Yeah, the first one hit it. The second one just completely overshot. So still work in progress, as you see. And still sometimes not working properly. Okay? So we're gonna go to a little bit of a different place here. So if we are in a position where the targets are small, sometimes you will try to get a lock, and this will happen. See? So you got a lock on the ground, and not on the vehicle. And if you fire the missile is supposed to be going to that place and trying to get a lock with its seeker. Remember, guys, the missile just overshot in that test that I did, right? So sometimes the missiles are, for some reason, just overshooting where the inertial navigation is telling them to go. For some reason. This happened one time before, on the actual, like, first day of the dev. This is happening right now. So sometimes this is happening. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a bug or if I'm doing something wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not. So sometimes it will do that. But again, guys, this is the good part about this missile. It's kind of a fix that they did here, where the missile not only is able to actually properly lock targets at up to 15 kilometers, 16 kilometers, in a better manner, right? But if he cannot lock the target, he's able to actually lock the ground, and he will try to get a lock onto where the target is, right? Of course, once you do that, you gotta remember that obviously the target should not be moving, because if it is moving, of course, look at that. I mean, it's not really a proper... I mean, if I just put it right here, it will lock the ground, see? And if I fire the missile, it might actually get a kill, but it might not, right? Let's just see if this one gets it, just for you to understand. Because I fired in the middle there, right? So again, look at this. The IOG isn't working properly, but it got a lock, right? It got a lock. I fired in the middle there, and he actually got a lock. So the Seeker is actually... sometimes the IOG system is kind of weird, but the Seeker is actually pretty good. It's good enough that it will actually get the target, okay? So this is the AGM-179 with the IR Seeker, okay? I just remember that, because sometimes it is overshooting. But now, finally, at least you can actually fire on targets that are above like 11.5 kilometers. Before it was literally impossible, right? So another thing that I wanted to show to you guys is the usage of the semi-active laser. So we are using the AGM-179 here. And remember, this thing will actually make sure that you are able to launch with this aircraft with these good missiles having a semi-active laser. Why the semi-active laser is good? Well, the thing is, guys, sometimes there isn't an AA system in the area, right? So flying with the, you have to take the IR one, but sometimes you don't need to take 8 of the IR ones, because we have the laser one. Why do you have the laser one? Because, guys, here we can even fire at targets that are smaller, bigger, whatever, but using the laser, you can do it all at these longer ranges, at up to like 16 kilometers, right? So it doesn't matter. And if you want to change the target, you can. If the target is moving, you can. So there is... I just wanted to show a little bit here of the SAL, just to show, guys, that although, yes, sometimes the AA systems are going to be so bad that you need to use the IR to try to get a fire and forget. Let me change the target over here, by the way. But sometimes the SAL is going to be better. Why is that? Because it doesn't need to actually properly lock the target. You just need to be looking at the target. Of course, it's a semi-active missile, but there is a little bit of a reason why you should use this. I mean, look at this. We can get up to 16 kilometers and still use this laser. Yes, some AA systems will get you at these ranges, but it's still very, very far. And you can change targets, you can move targets, you can, choose a target that is moving and still be able to get a kill, right? And even if you get a target that is actually using smoke, you can actually get the kill. So there is a little bit of a reason to use this, okay? Just remember that. Although, yes, of course, the IR one normally is going to be better, there is this little reason why you should sometimes get a laser one, okay? I would personally use probably 4 of each, to be honest, depending on the match, on how it is the match, right? So this is the AGM-179, a little bit testing a little bit more of it, You can see that the IR1 is much better than what it was initially in the dev server. And now the semi-active laser brings a little bit of a different perspective to a missile that can do very well, right? One thing that I need to show to you guys, look at this. It's actually perfect, right? But one thing that I need to show, one thing that I need to talk about is, guys, that although, yes, this is a real thing that you can take, 4 of each, but let's be honest, in reality, this doesn't exist, okay? In reality, what would happen is for you to actually have both of the missiles at the same time. 8 of the AGM-179. So, again, I'm gonna say the thing that I was saying in the other video, guys. I still believe that Gaijin, it's probably not that difficult, but I understand that they wanna divide these because of balancing. But I honestly think realism here is a better thing. I honestly think that you should be able to change from semi-active laser to IR if you want to. These missiles are able to do that. You can guide it by IR, you can guide by laser. So they are the same missile. They have a multi-mode seeker, right? So honestly, I still believe that we should have that. The ability to choose, or the ability to just, change it up before launching or something like that. I don't know. Same goes to the Lemur. for example. Lemur can be a missile, a Russian missile that can be guided by the gunner as a TV kind of missile, okay? So it's something that also could be a multi-mode missile, like it can be IR guided, but also guided via data link by the gunner, changing the direction of the missile. So it would be something very cool to see as well, right? I just think that realism here, it's a little bit of a better feature than just balancing, because the AAs are getting very, very strong, and we need rock, paper, scissors. I know you hate the helicopters, people that play tanks, you know, hate helicopters, jets and stuff, but we need to have balance overall, right? This is what the game is kind of trying to achieve anyway, right? But basically this is it, guys. So this is the 179 with the new modes, with the new fixes and everything. Still a little bit bugged sometimes, but it is getting there, okay? So see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye, guys. See you.